There comes a day in each September when you wake up and know the summer is over and fall has arrived. The slant of the sun looks different and something is in the air, a coolness, a hint of frosty mornings to follow. Anne Rinaldi. Hi everyone, I'm Anita from Whispering Pines Homestead. I'm so excited you're here today because it is fall. Okay, it's almost fall, but it is my favorite season of the year, and I have given my living room a little makeover using things not really specific to fall decor, but I think I've created a warm and welcoming room to really enjoy this season in, and I'm going to show you exactly what I did. So come along and I'll show you how I did it. For summer, I had my great-grandmother's chaise in front of the windows, and I really went light and bright with a cream rug and some pillows I'd made out of Waverly floral fabric. For fall, I had planned to keep the chaise in front of the window and add the paisley curtains I made a few years ago, but it just felt dark, which I normally love, but I ended up leaving the shears and putting the chaise back in the bedroom, if that all makes sense. So I brought in the channel back chairs like I had them in here last winter. But my boys really love to sit in the channel back chairs in the kitchen, so I put them back in the kitchen. Now, I love looking through Facebook Marketplace just for ideas, and I had run into these project chairs. They were listed for $15 each, but when I asked the seller what condition they were, she said I could have them both for $15, so I decided to go take a look. They were dirty, but I thought for $7.50 each, I could reupholster them very easily myself, so I got them. As soon as I got home, I took the blower and blew them off outside. Then I got the vacuum cleaner, and at that point, all of the dirt came off, so it certainly seemed to just be surface dust and dirt. There were no stains or rips or tears or anything like that. After I did all the cleaning, I sprayed some upholstery cleaner on a couple times, worked that in, vacuumed it off, and let them sit in the sun a while. They're really nice, sturdy chairs, so I think it was definitely a good purchase. I had also decided I wanted to use some of my native art collection and bring in more of those earthy textures, the pottery, baskets, and textiles. Then I remembered this lamp of my mother's from the late 60s. The colors are wonderful for fall, and I hadn't used it in a while, so I thought it would be perfect. I added a mid-century lampshade that I had, but you have to see the actual shade that went with this lamp, and my mother did have one like that for a while, but it must have been given away at some point. I had already decorated my mantle, but I really wanted something that went with the photos I had to the left, so I asked my husband to go through some of his amazing photography, and I found the perfect photograph. He shot this photo at Lake Emery in Franklin, North Carolina, the morning he found out his father in Puerto Rico had had a heart attack. So not only is this an amazing, moody, deep photo, but the emotion behind it makes it even more special. So I knew this was definitely the one to use. Because I needed it for the next day to shoot my video, I decided to just print a 16 by 20 at Walmart, and the first print was much darker than the original, much darker. So he edited it to accommodate that and also to work in our space, which tends to be dark, and it came out perfectly. I will definitely get a really nice canvas of this printed later, but this certainly works for now. Another thing I wanted to do was find a different way to display some of the arrowheads my maternal grandfather had given me. I had most of them in a shadow box, but I just didn't like how they looked, so I decided to take a stair tread from the old house here that Daddy grew up in, cut it a little bit shorter, and mount the arrowheads onto that. I love how it turned out. I love how they look against the rustic wood, and they're hanging over a print my paternal grandfather framed back in 1936. You can definitely see the direction I'm going with these projects, so I'll share the room now so you can see how it all turned out. I'll have a blog post linked with photos and more details about things, but if you have any questions, be sure to drop them in the comments below. hope you enjoyed this little fall makeover of my living room, and I hope that you're inspired to use things that mean something to you, but use things that aren't seasonally specific. You really don't need to go out and buy something that you can only use for one season, so try to look for things. If you are purchasing something new, try to find things that can be used throughout the year. Also, nostalgia is such a big thing for me this time of year. I want things around me that mean something, that have some connection to the people before me, and I feel like having my home tell my story that way is just another element to make my room feel warm and cozy. It's all part of the same, and I think that's just what this season is all about. So I hope you create your own room that tells your story, and I hope you enjoy this beautiful, beautiful season ahead.